Ever wondered why your toes curl during an orgasm? Stick around to find out. Welcome, dear listeners, to the captivating labyrinth of sexual curiosities, a realm where every turn reveals a fascinating fact or a peculiar phenomenon. Our journey today will take us deep into the physiological and psychological aspects of sex, a topic as ancient as humanity itself, yet still brimming with intriguing mysteries. Have you ever noticed the small bodily reactions during the throes of passion? Perhaps the fluttering eyelids, the quickened heartbeat, or the ever-so-mysterious toe-curling orgasm? These are not mere coincidences, but the intricate dance of our bodies responding to pleasure. When you experience an orgasm, your body is overwhelmed by a rush of endorphins and dopamine. These neurotransmitters create a euphoric state, and as they flood your nervous system, they cause involuntary muscle contractions throughout your body. This is why your toes and often other muscles curl or spasm during the height of pleasure. But the wonders of our sexual responses aren't just physical. They're deeply rooted in our psychology too. The way we perceive and experience sex is shaped by a myriad of factors, from our personal beliefs and cultural background to our individual psychological makeup. This intertwining of body and mind creates a unique sexual blueprint for each of us, a complex and fascinating personal map of desire and satisfaction. So the next time your toes curl in the throes of passion, take a moment to appreciate the intricate ballet of biology and psychology at play. Each reaction, each sensation, is a testament to the remarkable complexity of human sexuality. In the realm of sex, the curious and the extraordinary are the norm. Every aspect, every reaction, every thought associated with this most intimate of human experiences is a fascinating puzzle waiting to be explored. Intrigued? There's plenty more where that came from. Did you know that there are different types of orgasms? Yes, you heard that right. The world of pleasure is not as one note as many may think. The first type of orgasm is the clitoral orgasm. This is often described as more localized and intense, occurring when the clitoris is stimulated. It's like the crescendo of a symphony, the climax that sends shivers down your spine. Then there's the vaginal orgasm. This one is typically described as deeper and more spread out, often associated with a sense of fullness or pressure. Imagine the low hum of a cello, reverberating through your entire body, creating a symphony of sensations. Next up is the blended orgasm, a combination of clitoral and vaginal stimulation. This is often seen as the holy grail of female pleasure, a harmonious blend of the intense, tingling high notes and the deep, resonating bass notes. But the list doesn't end here. There are also orgasms that come from stimulating different parts of the body like the nipples, the anus, or even non-genital areas like the neck or the lower back. These are like the unexpected solos in a symphony, bringing a whole new level of depth and complexity to the performance. Now you might wonder, how does this all happen? Well, it's all thanks to the intricate symphony of physiological and psychological processes. The brain plays a crucial role, sending signals to the body and releasing a flood of feel-good hormones. The heart rate increases, muscles contract, and the body is filled with an overwhelming sense of euphoria. It's a beautifully orchestrated performance, with each part playing its role to perfection. So the next time you're in the throes of passion, you'll know exactly what's happening. You'll be able to appreciate the exquisite symphony of sensations, the intricate dance of physiological and psychological processes, and the incredible diversity of pleasure. Because sex, my dear friends, is not just a physical act. It's an orgasmic symphony, a celebration of the human body's capacity for pleasure. And each orgasm, each note in this symphony is a testament to that. Ever wondered why you're attracted to certain types of people? This is not just a question of personal taste. There's a fascinating world of psychology at play here. Let's dive into the psychology of attraction. Let's start with pheromones, these invisible chemicals that our bodies naturally produce. It's like our bodies are engaged in a secret conversation without us even knowing. These pheromones can signal compatibility and even fertility, drawing us to people who are biologically a good match. Physical traits also play a crucial role. You see, our brains are wired to look for signs of good health and reproductive fitness. Clear skin, symmetrical features, a certain hip-to-waist ratio in women, broad shoulders in men, these are all indicators of genetic fitness that can spark attraction. But here's where it gets really interesting. It's not all about biology. Personality characteristics are equally important. We are drawn to people who are kind, empathetic, and have a good sense of humor. Studies show that we find people more attractive when they display these traits. And what about those who have similar interests or backgrounds? Well, the familiarity principle suggests we are more likely to be attracted to those who share commonalities with us. It's comforting, it's safe, and it's a foundation for deep connections. But let's not forget the role of mystery and unpredictability. The brain loves novelty and challenge. When someone keeps us guessing, it can create a sense of intrigue that's undeniably attractive. Attraction is a complex interplay of biology and psychology. It's a dance between the conscious and subconscious, between what we can see and what we can't. It's about the chemistry you can't quite put your finger on, the spark that ignites when two people are drawn to each other. So, the next time you feel a spark with someone, you'll know it's not just about looks. It's about the unseen pull of pheromones, the allure of shared interests, the charm of a kind personality, and the tantalizing intrigue of the unknown. Did you know that certain foods can enhance your sex life? Now that's a conversation starter, isn't it? And it's not just a tantalizing tidbit for dinner party banter. It's science. You've likely heard of aphrodisiacs, those magical foods and drinks that are said to stimulate desire. Named after Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love, aphrodisiacs have been celebrated in literature, folklore, and everyday life for centuries. But do they actually work? And if so, how? Let's dive into the juicy details. Scientists believe that certain foods can indeed boost your libido, but it's not as simple as chowing down on a plate of oysters or savoring a bar of dark chocolate. It's all about the nutrients these foods contain. For instance, oysters are packed with zinc, a mineral crucial for testosterone production, which is key for sexual desire in both men and women. Dark chocolate, on the other hand, stimulates the production of phenylethylamine, a compound that elicits feelings of excitement, attraction, and pleasure. But it's not just about what's in the food. The act of eating itself can be quite sensual. Think about it. The textures, the tastes, the smells, food engages all of our senses, much like sex does. And sharing a meal with someone, tasting the same flavors, experiencing the same pleasures, can create a bond, a connection that extends beyond the dinner table. Now, it's important to note that while these foods may enhance desire, they're not magic bullets. You can't expect to down a dozen oysters or gobble up a bar of chocolate and suddenly transform into a sexual dynamo. Like most things in life, it's about balance. A healthy diet, regular exercise, and good mental health are all crucial components of a satisfying sex life. So the next time you're planning a romantic dinner, you'll know exactly what to serve. And remember, it's not just about the food, it's about the experience, the connection, the shared pleasure. Because at the end of the day, that's what sex is really about, isn't it? Ever wondered why some people have certain sexual fetishes? Let's delve into the intriguing science behind fetishes. Fetishes, in the context of sexual behavior, refer to an intense fascination or fixation on a specific object, body part, or activity. But what causes these unique, sometimes odd preferences? From a psychological perspective, fetishes often develop during childhood or adolescence. It's thought that an event, experience, or object can become sexually imprinted on the brain during these formative years. This imprinting can be so powerful that it becomes a focal point of sexual desire in adulthood. Sigmund Freud, the father of psychoanalysis, suggested that fetishes arise when a child is anxious about castration. He proposed that the fetish object, often a female garment, acts as a symbolic substitute for the mother's missing penis. However, Freud's theory has been widely criticized and is not widely accepted in modern psychology. On the physiological side, some researchers believe that fetishes could be linked to the brain's organization. The areas of the brain responsible for our genitals and feet are adjacent in the somatosensory cortex, the area that processes tactile sensations. This proximity might explain why foot fetishes are one of the most common. Moreover, there's a theory about neural crosstalk, where signals in the brain can cross over to adjacent areas, potentially leading to a connection between unrelated things. For instance, a person might associate leather with sexual arousal due to a crossed signal in their brain. It's important to note that fetishes are typically harmless and only become a problem when they cause distress or harm to oneself or others. As with all aspects of sexuality, consent and respect for boundaries are paramount. So, whether it's a fascination with feet, an attraction to leather, or a fixation on a particular role-play scenario, it's all part of the diverse spectrum of human sexuality. Our brains are complex, and our sexual preferences are no different. So the next time you hear about a strange fetish, you'll know that there's science behind it. Did you know that your hormones play a crucial role in your sex life? Indeed, the invisible dance of hormones in our bodies influences our sexual desires, arousal, and even orgasm. Let's start by understanding what hormones are. They're essentially chemical messengers, traveling through our bloodstream, transmitting signals from one part of the body to another. When it comes to our sexual health, several hormones are particularly important. First off, there's testosterone. Often associated with men, this hormone is actually vital for both sexes. In men, it's responsible for sex drive and sperm production. In women, it contributes to libido and sexual response. So whether you're a man or a woman, testosterone is a key player in your sexual story. Next up, we have estrogen, the primary female sex hormone. It plays a pivotal role in a woman's sexual development and menstrual cycle. But did you know it also helps maintain the health of the vaginal tissues and lubrication? And in men, estrogen helps regulate sex drive. Then there's progesterone, another female hormone. It helps prepare the uterus for pregnancy, but it also plays a role in sexual desire. When progesterone levels rise, sexual desire can decrease. Let's not forget oxytocin, often called the love hormone. It's released during activities like hugging, kissing, and yes, during orgasm too. Oxytocin enhances feelings of trust, bonding, and affection, which can intensify the emotional connection during sex. Finally, there's dopamine, a hormone that plays a major role in the reward system of the brain. It's released during pleasurable activities, including sex, causing feelings of enjoyment and reinforcement to motivate a person to perform certain activities again. So, as you can see, our sex lives are a complex ballet of hormones, each playing their own unique part in the grand performance of sexual desire, arousal, and satisfaction. They dictate not just how we feel, but how we act and react in the bedroom. So, the next time you're feeling frisky, you'll know it's your hormones at work. Ever wondered what makes someone a good seducer? Well, seduction is an art, a dance of subtlety and intrigue that is as old as time itself. It's not just about physical appearance, but also about the way you carry yourself, your conversation skills, and your confidence. Let's begin with body language. Our bodies speak volumes, often louder than words. A simple glance, a touch, or the way you position yourself can convey interest, attraction, and desire. Body language is the unspoken dialogue of seduction, a silent conversation between two people. It's about understanding the subtleties, the look in the eyes, the tilt of the head, the touch of the hand. Remember, it's not just about what you say, but how you say it. Now let's move on to conversation skills. Seduction is a dance, and conversation is the music. It's about creating a connection, finding common ground, and building rapport. It's about listening, showing genuine interest, and understanding the other person. Good conversation is like a dance. It's about rhythm, timing, and creating an emotional connection. Next, we have confidence. Confidence is attractive, it's magnetic, it's about feeling comfortable in your own skin, knowing your worth, and not being afraid to show it. Confidence isn't about arrogance, it's about self-assuredness. It's about being comfortable with who you are and projecting that to the world. Remember, confidence is not something you have, it's something you exude. So how do these factors contribute to successful seduction? You see, seduction is about creating a connection, a bond. It's about understanding the other person, making them feel special, and creating an environment where they feel comfortable and desired. So the next time you're trying to woo someone, you'll know exactly what to do. It's not about tricks or games, it's about authenticity, connection, and understanding. It's about mastering the art of subtlety and intrigue, the art of seduction. Did you know that the power of touch can enhance your sexual pleasure? That's right, folks. Touch is a powerful tool in the realm of intimacy, and it plays an indispensable role in heightening sexual pleasure. Let's delve deeper. Our skin is our largest organ, and it's brimming with nerve endings that make it incredibly sensitive to touch. This sensitivity varies from person to person and from one body part to another, leading to the concept of erogenous zones, areas of the body that can trigger sexual arousal when touched or stimulated. These zones include the neck, the inner thighs, the back of the knees, the earlobes, and of course, the genitalia. But remember, everyone is unique, and what might be an erogenous zone for one may not be the same for another. Touch during intimacy is not just about physical stimulation, it's also about communication, a silent language of love and desire. It's a way to show your partner that you're present, focused, and invested in their pleasure. It's about exploring, understanding, and responding to your partner's body and its reactions. It's about creating a connection that transcends spoken words. Why is touch so important in sex? It's because touch can ignite our senses, stir our emotions, and elevate our sexual experience. It can build anticipation, intensify pleasure, and even forge a deeper emotional bond with your partner. It's through touch that we experience the warmth, the closeness, the intimacy that sex can bring. Even science backs this up. Research shows that touch can release oxytocin, also known as the love hormone, which can enhance feelings of trust, connection, and intimacy. So touch is not just about physical pleasure, but also about emotional fulfillment. So the next time you're getting intimate with someone, you'll know exactly where to touch. And remember, the power of touch in sex is not just about where you touch, but also how you touch. Be gentle, be attentive, and most importantly, be in tune with your partner's responses. After all, touch is a dialogue, and the conversation is as important as the climax. Ever wondered why communication is so important in sex? Well, let's dive into this essential aspect of our intimate lives. Communication in sex is about more than just expressing what feels good. It's about understanding, respect, and consent. It's about exploring and expressing our desires, our limits, and our fantasies with our partners. It's about creating a space where we feel safe and valued. The concept of consent is a cornerstone of healthy sexual relationships. It means actively agreeing to participate in sexual activities, and it is something that should be sought and given freely. Consent isn't a one-time thing, it's a continuous conversation. It's about checking in with your partner, making sure they're comfortable, and respecting their boundaries. Next, let's talk about preferences. We all have them, and they can vary considerably from person to person. It's important to have an open dialogue about what you and your partner enjoy. This doesn't have to be an uncomfortable conversation. It can be as simple as asking what they like or expressing your own desires. Remember, there's no shame in having preferences. They're what make us unique. Now, let's talk about how good communication can enhance sexual pleasure. When we communicate effectively, we're able to better understand our partner's needs and desires. This can lead to more satisfying sexual experiences. It's like being given a roadmap to pleasure. But remember, it's not just about asking what your partner likes, it's also about listening and responding. Communication extends beyond words. It's also about body language, eye contact, and touch. It's about being present and attentive to your partner's reactions. It's about understanding that silence doesn't necessarily mean consent, and that it's okay to say no at any time. So, remember, good communication is the foundation of a healthy and satisfying sexual relationship. It's about understanding, respect, and pleasure. It's about creating a safe space where both you and your partner can explore your desires and boundaries. So, the next time you're in bed with someone, you'll know that communication is key. Let's sum up what we've learned today. We started our journey into the intriguing world of sex by exploring some of the most mind-boggling sexual curiosities. We learned that the animal kingdom is full of bizarre mating rituals, and that human beings aren't the only creatures who engage in sex for pleasure. Dolphins and bonobos, for instance, are known to enjoy the act just as much as we do. Next, we delved into the orgasmic symphony, exploring the complex interplay of nerve endings, hormones, and brain activity that culminates in the euphoria of an orgasm. We discovered that orgasms aren't just about pleasure, they also have significant health benefits like relieving stress, improving sleep, and even boosting the immune system. Our journey then took us into the psychology of attraction, where we learned that beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder. Cultural, personal, and evolutionary factors all play a role in who we find attractive. We also discovered that pheromones, those invisible chemical signals, can subconsciously influence our romantic decisions. From there, we ventured into the role of food in sex. We found out that certain foods, such as oysters and chocolate, have been revered as aphrodisiacs for centuries. But more importantly, we learned that a healthy diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, and lean proteins, can improve our overall sexual health and performance. Next, we ventured into the science behind fetishes. We learned that fetishes are more common than we might think, and that they can range from a preference for certain body parts to a fascination with specific scenarios or objects. We found out that having a fetish is not something to be ashamed of, but rather something that can be embraced as part of one's unique sexual identity. Our exploration then led us to the role of hormones in sex. We discovered how hormones like testosterone, estrogen, and oxytocin not only drive our sexual desires, but also play a crucial role in bonding, mood regulation, and even the formation of memories. We then turned to the art of seduction, learning that it's not just about physical attraction, but also about emotional connection and psychological intrigue. We found out that successful seduction involves a combination of confidence, empathy, active listening, and the ability to make someone feel special and desired. Next, we delved into the power of touch. We learned that human touch can have a profound impact on our emotional and physical well-being, and that it plays a crucial role in sexual arousal and satisfaction. We discovered that the skin is the largest organ in the human body, and it is loaded with nerve endings that respond to different types of touch. Finally, we focused on the importance of communication in sex. We learned that open, honest, and respectful conversations about sex can lead to greater intimacy, better sex, and improved relationship satisfaction. We discovered that it's not just about expressing our desires and boundaries, but also about actively listening to our partner's needs and concerns. And there you have it, the intriguing world of sex. Remember, knowledge is power, especially when it comes to sex.